Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Jake, and I am back. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 4 players that I think could be and will be traded at this year's trade deadline. So, first off, I want to apologize. It's been about a week since I've uploaded. I'm actually in the process of moving, so that's really been taking up a lot of my time. And also, for disclosure, I'm making this video at around 2 o'clock on July 28th. So, to my knowledge, these players have not been traded yet. So the latest trade, as I'm recording this video, is actually Starling Marte to the Athletics. But with that all out of the way, I want to talk about 4 players that I think will get traded. And the first guy, as you can see on the screen, is Kris Bryant. I definitely think he's gone. I don't think he wants to go back to the Cubs. I don't think the Cubs have interest in spending money to re-sign him. It's just, where's he a fit? He's a fit at a lot of places, mostly because of his defensive versatility. He's a third baseman by trade, but he can play first base. He can play all 3 of the outfield positions, including center field, which apparently is his favorite outfield position to play. So there's 2 teams that I really think would be interested, and that I have heard that are interested, and that would be the New York Mets and the San Francisco Giants. Now, the Giants, they have Evan Longoria at third base. You know, he's been playing well this year, so I guess he could play in the outfield, or first base, because they've had Lamont Wade and Brandon Belt kind of playing first base, so he could move all around, so there's a spot for him to play. It's just, do the Giants want to trade pieces to get him? I don't know about that. Then the second team, as mentioned, is the New York Mets. The New York Mets are actually the team I want them to get traded to, because I think he would be a perfect pick there. So they have J.D. Davis at third base. He's just coming back he was on the 60-day DL or IL, So they can move him to third base. They could move him to the outfield. Perhaps they would have to trade one of their outfielders, so Kris Bryant could move to the outfield, or they could just have Kris Bryant play third base and have J.D. Davis be bat off the bench. So, but I think the Mets would be a perfect landing spot for Kris Bryant. So I think I would say this is just me spitballing, but I would say there's probably a 90% chance he gets traded, because I don't think he's going to re-sign, and I don't think he wants to re-sign. I have a theory that Kris Bryant is still really upset or holds a grudge with the Cubs for manipulating his service time, and I think he's like, even if they were willing to re-sign him, I don't know if he'd want to be honest with you. So, but with that out of the way, if I had to make a guess right now, I would say the New York Mets are going to make the deal to get Kris Bryant and make him a New York Met. So now that we're done with talking about Kris Bryant, why don't we move on to one of his teammates? This guy I also think is definitely going to be on the move. There's a lot of Cubbies that could be on the move this year, but I think Craig Kimbrel will definitely be on the move. I think he is probably one of, if not the most valuable pieces on the trade market. I think the Cubs will get a lot back for him. He is going to be a free agent after this season, so there's that. He's a rental perhaps, unless the team that he gets traded to wants to re-sign him. But in the playoffs, you need guys that are going to miss bats. And Craig Kimbrel misses bats with the best of them. He's one of the best closers of the last 10 to 15 years. He is already in the 300 save club. He's a great piece. There's not a single team that I don't think would say, nah, we're good. We don't want Craig Kimbrel. So to be honest with you, I think any team that has playoff aspirations, they should make a move for him. That being said, I also have another theory, and that's that teams that have a lockdown closer, like they have a guy who, this is my closer, they probably don't want to trade for Craig Kimbrel, because there's a power dynamic there between being a closer and being just a regular. Because, if you look at a guy like Archie Bradley, right? He's a reliever. He's a really good reliever, especially when the Phillies sign him. He signed a $5 million deal for 1 year. All right, that's a lot of money. But, that's for good reliever money. But for good closers, they make $10 to $15 million, but a good reliever makes $5 to $8 million. So basically, getting those last 3 outs can double your salary. So a team like Houston, who I would think would definitely be in the market for Craig Kimbrell, I don't know if they'd want to, because I don't know if they want to piss off Ryan Presley, because Ryan Presley gets paid based on saves, not based on holds, for example. And same with Craig Kimbrell. He gets paid for saves. He doesn't get paid for holds. It's a selfish mindset, to be honest with you, but it's just the way it is. Relievers want to be closers. Starters get paid because they're starters and they have to eat up a lot of innings, but closers, they get paid based on saves. And whether that's right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. But that's the way it is. But so that kind of knocks out a couple teams, but there's a couple teams that I think would be really good fits. The Athletics, I think, would be a good fit. I don't know if they'd be interested because they don't really have the money for him. One team that I would really like to see him get traded to, I don't know because they're really kind of falling out of it, but it's the Cincinnati Reds. Their bullpen has been an absolute dumpster fire this year, but they're still kind of in it. I think they're about 5 or 6 games back at the time of recording. So if they feel like they can get there, Craig Kimbrell would be a lockdown closer because they really haven't had one this year. But I think honestly, again, like Chris Bryant, I think San Francisco would be a great fit because Jake McGee's been really good this year, and Rogers has been really good this year, but they don't miss bats. Those guys are pitch to contact. So. And I don't know how much their egos play into it, but I think Kimbrell could slide right in and be the closer day one for the Giants. So, but yeah, if I had to make a guess, I really think the Reds. I mean, that would be a dark horse team. I haven't really heard that, but I guess if I had to make like an official guess, I would say the Giants. But look out for the Reds. That's just me. I haven't heard that from any random ass source. That's just me spitballing because I mean the Reds seem like they want to win and they need bullpen help. So, but yeah. And the third guy on our list is going to be Rockies shortstop for now, Trevor Story. Trevor Story, I love Trevor Story. He plays a premium defensive position. He hits dingers. He can fly. Literally, I think he led the league in stolen bases last year. So he's going to be a free agent though, and the Rockies, well, they're not competitive, and they're not going to be for a couple more years at least. So, the team that I've heard the most of, I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard it, is the New York Yankees. That seems like the only team really that's interested. Another team that I've heard a little bit about, like rumored, is the Chicago White Sox. I don't know how that would work because they have Moncada at third base, they have Tim Anderson at shortstop. Perhaps they'd put him at second base. It would be a weird defensive fit, but that infield would rake for sure. A team that I'm just absolutely spitballing would be the Mariners, and you might be thinking the Mariners suck. Well, they don't actually suck, but they're not competitive. They're probably not going to be competitive this year. But if they want a cornerstone guy, maybe they trade for Trevor Story and they re-sign him. Because shortstop. I mean, they do have J.P. Crawford, so. But maybe that's just a pipe dream of mine that the Mariners would go after that. But I would say the Yankees are the team that are probably the most interested because Gleyber Torres has sucked, to be honest with you, quite frankly. He's been not good. Trevor Story adds a lot more defensive skill, to be honest with you. So maybe Oakland, if Oakland wants to, I don't know how interested Oakland is in rentals, but I would say the Yankees are definitely the team. Perhaps the White Sox, maybe the Athletics, but whatever team is going to trade for him, they're getting a premier bat at a premier position. And people like to say Coors is Colorado, the elevation. I think that's kind of bullshit, to be honest with you. I think Trevor Story is a beast, and whatever team is going to trade for him, I think they'll be extremely happy with what they're getting. It probably won't really be able to give up. They won't have to give up that much because based on the trades that I've seen, it's kind of shocked me that the lack of what teams are getting. Like the Mariners gave up Kendall Graveman and Rafael Montero for Joe Smith and Abraham Toro. So, I mean, unless they really like Abraham Toro, I don't know. The Pirates gave up Adam Frazier, who's leading the league in hits, for two unranked prospects and a number 5 prospect in their system. So, the Padres system that was. So I think, I definitely think, any team would be happy to get him, and they probably wouldn't have to give it that much. But if I had to make an official guess, it would be the New York Yankees. But yeah, I think that's enough about Trevor's story. And the last guy on the list that I want to talk about in today's video is Nationals starting pitcher Max Scherzer, Mad Max. Now, to be honest with you, his contract is complicated. Much like your girlfriend, your relationship status, it's complicated. Because he's got a deferred contract. He has like an $8 million bonus at the end of the year that's due to him. He has a full no trade clause. I really have no idea how teams would be able to work out the money with the Nationals. I have no idea if they trade for him, if they're on the hook for the money that he's owed the next 7 years because it's a deferred contract, meaning he's not getting paid all the money. He signed like a 7-year, $210 million deal. He didn't get all that money now. He's getting it spread over time. He has a full no trade clause, so he has a large say in where he goes, or he can always just say, I don't want to go anywhere. The bonus, I mean, it's a bonus. It's going to be there. So I don't really know how the money would work, but if teams can reconcile the money, then they're getting one of the best pitchers of the last 15 years, and especially a big game pitcher, because this is a guy you want to give the ball to in the playoffs. Like, there's some guys, I think managers give them the ball and they're like, oh, fuck, like, here you go, kid. Nah, Max Scherzer, you give him the ball, he wants it. He wants it. He left Detroit a huge, contract offer on the table. Went in free agency, the unknown, the Nationals signed him, and he was one of the key reasons they won, if not the most important reason they won the World Series in 2019. So, to get to it, I think the 3 teams I've heard, and the 3 teams that I've heard he's interested are the Padres, Dodgers, and Giants. The NL West, it seems like the NL West will be his next home. Whether it's the Giants, Padres, or Dodgers, I'm not really sure about that. I mean, all of them need pitching help. The Padres probably need it the most because they've had some guys that have underwhelmed. Chris Paddock, Blake Snell, Dilson Lamet. Joe Musgrove has been great, though. The Dodgers, it seemed like starting pitching wasn't going to be a need of theirs, but Dustin May is injured. He's not going to be able to pitch this season. Trevor Bauer, he's not unavailable. I don't need to get into it. You guys know he's just unavailable at this point. So, and I don't know if he'll be available at any point in the season. So the Dodgers probably need, just as much as the Padres. The Giants, I don't really know if they need it because DeSclafani, Gausman, Cueto, all their guys have been really good. So, I think if I had to make an official guess, I would say the Dodgers are probably the team I would say the most because they've already got their toes into the luxury tax game. The Padres have not. They're really close to it. They're really close. But I think the Dodgers can reconcile the money, can reconcile the deferred contract. So yeah. But with Mad Max, I would say there's a way less chance. I would say there's probably a 25-30% chance he gets traded. Because of all the things I've talked about, but that's all I have. Those are the 4 players I have. If I could get one of the 4 correct, that would make me very happy because it's so hard to predict these things. You see guys and you're just like, oh yeah, he's gonna get traded to this team, and then they don't, or they get traded somewhere else, or they don't get traded at all. So but I really appreciate you guys checking out the videos. The videos have been doing so good. Like, I've been so happy with the way they've come out and the way that, you guys have been viewing them and stuff. You guys can leave comments, likes, dislikes. It lets me know, if I'm doing good, if I'm doing bad, what I need to work on. Constructive criticism is always appreciated. So, If you guys could do that, that would be great. I've been so excited with baseball. This trade deadline seems like it's going to be the busiest, of the last 20 years probably. So, but with that all out of the way, I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.